Okay, so this unit's going to be all about angles, basically. We've got 6 different parts, as you can see there. This lesson is just going to be dealing with 10.1. It's basically types of angles, and also talking about naming them and the parts of an angle. So let's get straight on into the lesson here at this point. The types of angle, this part should be more of a review. Any angle that's less than 90 degrees, but more than 0, would be an acute angle. Down here I've got 2 right angles shown. That means that they're both 90 degrees. Um, Basically, this is the one that you'll see most of the time. It'll look like a little square that's in the corner. That's an indication that it's 90 degrees. It's also saying it's a right angle. So make sure you understand that. Anything that's bigger than 90 degrees but less than 180 is obtuse. So it looks like it's bigger. When it's exactly 180 degrees, we call that a straight angle. That part should be pretty straightforward and review at this point. When we start talking about naming the angles, there's 4 ways that we can name any angle, and it's not the hardest thing in the world to do. Whenever you see an angle that has 3 different letters on there, you can use all 3 angles to name it. All 3 letters to name it. You start with the side of the angle, and you'd say angle A, B, C. You would read the letters in the way that it opens up. So we would write it with an angle sign of angle A, B, C. There's nothing, though, that says it has to be alphabetical. So another way we could do it is angle C, B, A. Now, one thing that happens a lot, though, is people try to mix in the 3 letters in a different way. A lot of times they'll say, well, what about B? And they'll start here in the middle of the angle. They'll say B, A, C. Now, you saw the way that I read it, B, A, C, and that the green line opened up, and it's a totally different angle. You would kind of highlight or trace the angle with your mind as you say it. Some people might see it, say, well, could we name it BCA? Well, no, because that's this angle over here, and it doesn't even exist. So you have to say the letters in the way that it opens up. Another way is that when this angle is all by itself, you take a look at that middle letter, and if there's no other lines being shared with it, you could just use that letter right there and call it angle B. And then the last way is that if you have a small number that's inside of the angle, like see this one right here, we could call it angle 1. So let's go down and try this one again right here. Angle X, Y, Z would be one way to name it. Then you could reverse the order and go angle Z, Y, X. Okay, so that's not too bad. You've got angle 4. And you've also got angle Y. So that's 4 ways that we can name an angle. You need to be clear that you know how to name it all 4 different ways. The last part I wanted to look on this lesson before we go on to 10.2 would be the parts of an angle. There are 2 rays on every angle. Now let's just name this one X, Y, and Z. So here's X, here's point Y, and here's point Z. We have ray YX. When you're naming a ray, you always have to start with the point that it starts from, so that'd be YX. And here's the ray. When we name the other ray, we start with the Y also, because that's where this ray started from, and that's YZ. So that's ray YZ. And we put a little ray sign over it. We have to do that, or else we think you're talking about a line segment. The last part is that the middle point of the angle where the 2 rays meet and come together, we call that point the vertex. So the vertex is point Y in this case. So if we come down here and I said name 2 rays or 2 sides of this angle, you would say it's ray BA because it starts at B and goes towards A. And it keeps going in that direction. And then I would say ray BC because it starts at B and goes towards C. And then the vertex is just B.